Hi, welcome to the Practice First Coaching's YouTube channel. The presentation you're about to watch actually took place live at one of our sessions. So can I use this opportunity to invite you to come and join us? We meet every Tuesday and the details are on the screen. If you like this kind of content, can I encourage you to please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell? That way you'll get notified whenever we release any new content. Let me not take too much of your time. Enjoy today's presentation, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Excellent. So today we are talking about this very important subject, just simply titled Ask. I have so many stories I can tell you about this three-letter word, ask. And I'm just going to be cautious about time because I don't want to take too much time in today's session. But we're going to talk about it because I think as coaches, our ability to ask questions really play a crucial role as a coach, but also in business. Now, many people might think to simply ask, it's something that we all do in our everyday lives and, what's the biggie? But the truth of the matter is the opportunity, I wouldn't even use the word opportunity, the ability to actually ask for help is something that many people struggle with in their own personal life and in business. And I'll tell you a story. Many years ago, I used to work as a banker. I was a relationship manager for a well-known global bank in the UK. And one day we had a meeting because there was a problem. And the problem was we were having great customer feedback. We were having great meetings, but we weren't closing any transactions. And they called the meeting because they were wondering, how come we were doing all this great stuff? The feedback was great, but the actual results we were receiving were quite poor. And the conclusion was many of us went into meetings to give a good impression, to give a good and lasting impression with our clients, but we were never asking for the sale. If we needed something, we didn't ask for help. We struggled when it comes to asking. And I remember the sales manager at the time just kept reminding us, don't forget to ask. And that kind of stuck with me. And the moment I started asking, my performance radically changed. And I've carried that on to all the other jobs I've done since that time. But I'm very well aware that asking is not something that comes natural to everyone. But I know some will master it. Others will be terrified by simply asking. And we're talking about asking about anything, asking in terms of sales, asking for help, asking for support, just simply asking. Wayne Baker describes the skill. He describes asking as an important skill that we require in order to succeed. And I most certainly concur with that. Now, when it comes to asking, it covers a whole range of areas, and I'm not going to focus on one. So this is not just about asking when it comes to engaging with clients. There's certain things that you will need to know. Even when I was with Lisa, it was so funny. I was with Lisa and Chantel talking about, doing a copywriting workshop. And I didn't even know what copywriting was. And we were talking about it. In my mind, I thought I did. And it got to a point I had to just stop the conversation and say, please forgive my ignorance, but what exactly is the difference between content creation and copywriting? Because we can presume we know everything, but the truth of the matter is we don't always know everything. So sometimes when it comes to knowledge, there's a certain amount of knowledge that you will need to ask somebody to provide you to enable you move in the direction you want to go. When it comes to resources, you are going to need to ask for help. You will not have everything that you need. At some point in time in your business, you will need somebody to support and help you get to where you want to go in terms of resources, in terms of your relationship and networks, your capabilities, even in negotiations. I have discovered that coaches, because we're so heart-centered people, we're not really good when it comes to negotiations. And you will say, what do you mean by that, Matt? Simply put, if I said something was X and X did not apply to you, or you couldn't meet the criteria for X, most of us would just walk away. But anytime in business, somebody offers you something and it doesn't match your expectation, never conclude that's it. There's always room for negotiation, but only if you ask. The people I love the most is when I'm doing something with them and I'm seeing them and I'm looking at their expression on their faces and I'm giving them my price and I know something isn't ticking. They're just about to say no, but I'm waiting for them to come back with a counter offer. Okay, Mark, I know you've told me X, but is there any way we can move to Y? And the only way I will know and even consider that is if I have been asked. So asking is an important role. I'm sort of like wandering off here. Now, let me deal with a few challenges when it comes to ask. Why do people struggle when it comes to this important subject of ask? One of the most important reasons why people struggle is the fear of rejection, the fear of no. The truth of the matter is, in business, you cannot be afraid of no's. You will get no's. You cannot do anything about it. But a no is not a reflection of your character, of your personality, of your product, of your service. A no often is about the person you're asking. And they might look at themselves and go, I'm not ready for it. I'm not in a position to do it. So I might say no to you, but me saying no to you doesn't mean I no longer like you. So don't take no as a personal dent on your personality or your character. No, it's oftentimes it's got nothing to do with you. They're saying no to you because it might not be right for them right now, but it's not an indication that the service or you as a person, you're not somebody they want to work with. So that often is a challenge when it comes to asking, that fear of rejection. What about if they say no? I tell people, you've got to become immune to no's. You've got to take a no with a smile on your face. Just over a week ago, I was about to, I'd been working, I'd engaged this, or was trying to engage this new client, and I had done quite a bit of work to get, the scope of works, everything I was going to do for them. I spent several hours putting it together, and he had said no on the phone. He had said yes on the phone to me, sent 2 emails confirming he was going to sign up, and the sign-up fee was quite high. And everything was to be completed by last Friday. I was sent him my contract and he was going to sign it and return it back to me by a week last Friday. And at 5:30 p.m., after I was literally just finishing for the day, I get an email from him thinking, yes, that's the contract signed. And he was like, Mac, I've thought about it. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to decline now. Was I gutted? Absolutely. When, to be honest with you, I think I'd already spent the money. I was like, oh my goodness, it put a dampener on my weekend. But guess what? On Monday morning, I've moved on. Who else can I sell to? Because I know he already said yes, so he liked what I had to offer. He's saying no has nothing to do with me. It's all to do with him. Vulnerability. Many people think that asking is a sign that they're vulnerable or they're weak or they don't have what it takes. It's like it exposes what they lack. I was sharing with someone the other day and I was like, in business, a weakness is not a bad thing. When you show a sign of weakness, it is not a bad thing. You never look at it and go, oh, because you're weak or because you ask for help, that means you're no good. Absolutely no. First of all, you've got to be a strong person to ask for help. Most people will pretend that they can cope and they can handle it, but it takes somebody of character, somebody of strength to actually ask for help. So don't think that because you're asking for help means you're vulnerable, means you're weak, means you don't have what it takes. That's far from the truth. Some people think asking for help is way too much effort. I've got to overcome all my challenges. I've got to think about stuff before I go and ask for help. So some people would rather stay where they are than ask for something that they desperately need. And if there's anything I can do to help you today, is I pray from this session today, you get a level of boldness and confidence to put that extra effort in to get the assistance you need to move forward. The worst thing that can happen to you is in 2022, you're in exactly the same position as you are in 2021. Do what it takes to move forward. And if asking for sale or asking for help is what it requires, then you have to do it. I've got to move on quickly. Another reason why, another challenge why that people have with asking is when it comes to shame and judgment. Some people feel ashamed to ask for help. Some people think that if you ask for help, other people will have in the back of their mind that, they will have negative thoughts towards you. But I get asked for help all of the time. And most of the time I will say yes if I'm able to. And the times that I'm not able to, it's got nothing to do with the person asking for help. It's got to do with me. I may not have the time to give to them. I may not have the resources that they require. So them asking me for help doesn't mean I am going to judge them or look at them in a different manner. And that's something to bear in mind, that when you ask for help, people are not going to have negative thoughts about you purely because you ask for help. Some people think also that, if I don't ask for people's help, then I'm not a burden to them. I'm not, putting my challenges upon them. I mean, I love to help people. There is no greater pleasure in the world than helping people. I get a buzz. Money can't give me what helping other people gives me. I love it. And it saddens me when I see people who need help, but are too afraid to ask for help, who feel like, no, they don't want to be a burden. But you've got to overcome that, because what is more important is you achieving your goal. So it is not virtuous to just hold on to your problems and not trouble somebody else with. To other people, what is a massive issue to you, to other people is a piece of cake. Finally, most people just purely focus on themselves. They feel like their world is their thing, is their challenge. So they don't want to ask for other people's help because they just want to internalize and just focus within. But you're doing yourself a great disservice. I guarantee you this: if you're doing anything in relation to business and life, you will need somebody's support. You will need somebody's help. You will need someone to champion you. You'll need somebody to be by your side. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Wow, I've gone way over my time. I'm going to quickly rush through this. So let me just debunk a few myths about asking. One of the myths is, do people have the ability or willingness to help? Yes, simple answer. If you can help somebody, the chances are you will most likely do that. So if you know that people are willing to help and to assist you, why wouldn't you ask? I go to networking meetings every single week. And in the networking meetings, we're constantly trying to figure out how we can help and support each other, how we can provide business for each other. Nobody goes to those meetings thinking, oh, I don't need anything. I don't want to ask anything. If we've got the ability to help you, let's help you. So just debunking that myth. Another myth about asking is people will consider you to be incompetent. That is so far from the truth. I respect people who will ask. I respect people who will, come to me and say, listen, I need the support. Can you help me? Thirdly, some people see it as a weakness. And to me, this is a myth. You asking for something does not denote you are weak in any form or fashion. And neither does it denote that you then become a burden. I have never helped somebody and consider them a burden. It's not the way people look at it. And finally, reciprocity. Some people think that, listen, the only way I can get is if I first give. I love to give, but my giving does not mean that just because I love to give doesn't mean I will always receive. You know, you can always ask, or you can ask not based on how much you've given, because people will just love to give in the first place. So, steps to asking. Number one, be clear on what you want and why. That is so important. Know what you want and why you want it. How would it help you to achieve what it is you want to achieve in terms of the benefits? These are things that you've got to be clear about. There's nothing like going to somebody to ask for their help. You don't know what help you need from them. You don't know how they can support you. You don't know exactly. You can't define it exactly. And if there was more times, I would tell you other stories. Always be clear on the progress that you have made so far. People like to see that you've done a bit of work yourself. If you've not done anything and are relying on the helper to do everything for you, then they will probably be reluctant. But if you can demonstrate what you've done yourself, that will put you in a good position to receive the help you want. Then next, who can actually help you? Not everybody can help you. So it's about finding the people that can actually help you. And when you approach them, do it with confidence. You know, it's not a sign of humility to go as if you're begging. Do it with confidence. Be unapologetic, you know, in your approach. Next one there is value. Is there any value to them by helping you? That's always something I like to know. If I help you do something, you know, do I get anything in return from it? Is there any benefit from it? There doesn't have to be, but if there is, that's a big plus. And next one is always try and understand when they say no. And remember, no, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but try and understand why they say no. It may be, no, I can't do it now, but in 6 months, I'll be ready. Make a note of that. No, I don't have what it takes. I don't have all of it. You know, if you can maybe get somebody that can give half of it, I can maybe do the other half. And finally, always provide a progress report. So in our coaching session, sorry guys, I took a few minutes longer than I planned, but a few questions I'd like you to consider. In what area have you struggled to ask for help? Question one, and I'll put all these questions in the chat. Question number two, what impact has the lack of help had on what you wanted to achieve? So those of you who want to do something and needed help but didn't ask for help, what impact did it have on what you wanted to achieve? Thirdly, if you could get help today, what would that help look like? In what area do you need help in? And fourthly, what 3 things can you begin to do today to ask for help?